Oh. All right, everybody. I'm not sure if the ads are still rolling or not, but I feel like we should go ahead and start getting into things here today. Hope you guys had a great Wednesday. I spent some time playing the new Palia expansion yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. It was really cool. They introduced a lot of like story and lore, and that was awesome. So yeah, so today we're just going to work some more on the webtoon here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm kind of revise some of the panels here from last time. Vegeta, knock it off, buddy. It's okay for other cats to exist. It's okay, buddy. Stop. Anyway, sorry, Kitty is being insane right now, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Vegeta, knock it off, dude. Alrighty, so let's see. I think I kind of want to redo this panel here. So there's a couple panels I think I need to change up here. Figure what panel is what. Vegeta, knock it off. Stop. Oh my god. Hey Nympha, how's it going? Sorry, my kitty's insane because there's another cat outside and he hates every second of it, so he's freaking out. Let's see. All right. So last time we finished this panel here where the zombie is chasing young Val. We got that. We got all the way to here. So Val is running towards his parents' shop. They are come from a line of witches, so they have a basically a shop where they sell like magical items and other kinds of things and whatnot in their shop. So gotta kind of figure out how their shop's gonna look. I usually honestly I'm not a building uh kind of guy. I usually do character stuff here. So luckily Havoc has made all sorts of like Pinterest boards for me. to help assist me with like the visuals and whatnot. So let me see if I can find a reference for the shop. I was trying to get prepared ahead of time today, but I had to run out and grab some coffees and some food for Havoc and I because Havoc had this like ridiculously long work meeting. So I wanted to make sure that she had coffee before, before her meeting started. So I'm kind of like a little bit behind here. So sorry about that, guys. You can just bear with me for a sec here. Let's see. So I think this is for characters. All right, so this has characters. Place. Okay, starting to find some stuff. Oh, I remember. I decided to do this little intro, so she actually let me write the intro, so I don't have any references for what I was trying to do. So let's see if we can find some on Pinterest here. I totally forgot because I had started to redo this a while ago. So let's see. Magic shop. Building. Let's try that. See if we can come up with something cool. Maybe what I should do is we can kind of do some of this with the 3D because we always using 3D is really helpful. So let's see. Let me see if I can get uh some 3D primitives so we can put down some like boxes and we can use those as our reference point. That'll make things a little bit faster, hopefully. Let's see, perspective grid, blah, 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 blah. I just want some basic squares. That'll make it so much easier. Or what I could do is just get like a basic building and then draw on top of that. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Here's just a cube. That'll work. That's what I need. Download that super fast. Shouldn't take very long. In the meantime, I probably should put down some sort of apology. Or at least where the ground is going to be. So let's see. And primitives and this in general here. So we're going to take this and we're going to shift. And now I got to figure out what angle I want this establishing shot to be. Thinking like a somewhat straight on would probably be the best way to do this, I think. this down. It's a little wibbly wobbly here. Hold on. There we go. That's better. And then once our box is done, we can lay down some boxes and we can make a shop from it. So let me go back to my other thing. See if it downloaded the box. And it did. Hell yeah. Oops. And pull that into 3D. Okay. We go. We got our box in the scene. And I'm going to clip it to that. Let's make sure that it is on the ground. And then I can take and I can either duplicate these or I can manipulate their sizes. And that way we can get a shape for the shop. So let's start. I don't want it to be super far away. So do that. Let's duplicate it. Throw it in there. So it's relative to that one. Pull it over. And let's pull it back a little bit. Oops. And let's pull it over a little bit. Let's make it smaller too. There we go. And I'm gonna do my best, I think, to try not to make this like symmetrical here. So we have different parts of it. Make that even smaller so it kind of goes back that way a little bit, maybe. And then duplicate, and maybe it has like a where it kind of goes up like this or something. Move this over. And then maybe make this smaller. All right, we can kind of use this as like a basis here just for what the shop's gonna be. Oh, that music's annoying. Let me go ahead and change that. That's a lot better. All right, so now we have our 3D base here. And we can duplicate it. That and duplicate. And let's turn that on for the perspective and see if we can rasterize it real quick. You know what, if I take this and pull this onto another layer, and then maybe I can rasterize it. Convert layer to, let's actually do it as an image material layer. There we go. And then we can take this and put that back on there. All right, so now we have our boxes and we have our perspective ruler here. So we can start to kind of sketch out what we're looking for here. And hopefully this will cooperate. All right, so we'll just do some sketching real quick just to kind of get things. Make this maybe a little longer as it goes back. That way, that way. And then maybe we can have where there's like a parking lot or something in front of it down here. Cause this is also like in the future as well, so you know. And then we'll have like maybe like a storefront that kind of goes like this. We can have it goes back with the flooring part of it. So you can see that. We'll have like the entranceway door here. Right in the middle-ish there. Let's give it like an overhang, maybe. Might be kind of nice. Oops. Then maybe there's also like a, let's do like some pillars maybe off of this. We're just kind of messing with it until we get something that we like. I'll have to add some other elements to it so it's not so stiff. Maybe this is like a little spot that has like a little railing, like maybe they have like a little cafe or something across the top where you can have some of like maybe like some potions or enjoy some sort of like uh things for like energy for like either, because we have it where they can utilize either in this. And then let's make sure it's got like a floor that kind of goes in that. Maybe the top part is just kind of open here. It's like maybe like some counter stuff over here. Over here. Maybe it wraps around the whole jam. Up there. Maybe like a door or something to kind of come up and out right here. Maybe there's like a little bar or something right here. I don't know. We're just getting ideas, getting kind of like sketchy things where we could put stuff. Could have some shelving of some kind right here, down in here. Oh, good. My love is in the back here. She is watching, so that's awesome. We gotta have some spots here that Val can hide, of course, because he's trying to get away from the zombies, and there's gonna be something that actually an event that goes on in the store too. That's really important story wise. So maybe like some kind of like where the aisles kind of go. Let's give them like a sign outside. I'll do that in a sec. Maybe over here is like maybe they have like a greenhouse section over here. That would be neat, right? So we'll just have it kind of more open here with windows, and maybe it's like a multi-floor greenhouse. Maybe like some like that. Have another kind of like path that comes out here for that. Another doorway. Still kind of getting used to using the symmetry tools here, the perspective tools. Kind of want to have like a big, maybe like vertical sign or something here. That might be kind of neat. Kind of like coming off the building. Might be cool. And let's see. Not sure what to do with this size. So this will be like a greenhouse side, and maybe this is like a storage place or something. Maybe something like that. All right, so we got our sketch here. Let's turn off the ruler for now. Now comes the hard part, making this actually like unique looking here. So need to do some more sketching on this to make this happen. Let me look at my references here. Ooh, some of these are cool. Hmm. Alrighty. Okay, of course. So this is going to be where the entrance is. I don't want all this to be like super square or blocky too. Trying to think of how to do this. I might actually come back to this panel in a minute. Like maybe off stream, because I feel like if I do this on stream it's going to take forever. But at least we have an idea. This is the shop that he's going to go into to go and try to find help because it's his family shop. So we're gonna go on to him like hiding on the inside. So we're gonna make some panels here. Why is that selecting that too? Just want this panel. So when you're doing these like Webtoon panels as well, you gotta kind of like zigzag them is the best way to describe it. So they read, going from one way to another. So it's like the eye has room and you get some and then you can change like the size of them depending on what's going on. So let's go back to this one here. And we're going to zoom in. And I think I do need my perspective ruler for this because it's going to be inside. And so Val is going to end up be like running through the doors in here in this one. So he's going into the shop. He's going to find a a place to hide. Let me check my original sketch real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. So he goes in there to hide. Okay. I remember now. Cool. So, excuse me, guys. Sorry. My freaking allergies are kicking my ass. So we'll do a this in here. Get a model. Oh my goodness. I cannot stop like coughing. So this one's kind of short, kind of like he's like a younger person. So we'll go with that. And let's move actually move the camera, I think would be the way to go. Here we go. And let's find a pose like he's hiding. So Alright, so I don't have one specifically for hiding, but what we can do is we can find something close, and then maybe we can manipulate it into the pose we're looking for. And yeah, we could actually have him facing this way because that'll make more sense for it to flow that way. Let's move this up, and then we're gonna mess with it a little bit. Move his head. Up just a little bit because the shelf's going to be a decent size shelf. And we can move his arm back a bit and kind of make this like he's maybe like resting his arm on his leg. Takes a little fidgeting with to make this happen. Oh, it doesn't necessarily have to be resting on it. That's fine. We're just manipulating the pose a little bit. Let's change his hand pose to something else. Find it real quick. No, I have some just for hands. Let's see if we can just put this on the hand. Nope, that's a whole pose for the whole body, not just the hand. What about this one? Now we can just kind of want to make it so you can like see his like expression as he's hiding. So we're going to move this around until we find something that works. Probably about here. Well, actually, we'd have to establish he's under something. So it might be better to trying to figure out what would be a best way to. I might need to have a panel that shows the actual the place he's going to hide under first, so it makes sense, and then do this panel. Yeah, okay. I think that's what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to move this model into this frame here. And we'll try to get a good angle, a dramatic angle for like his face when he's like freaking out. We can also manipulate the frame itself. Might be, maybe we'll move this up a little bit like this so we can get a better shot. Make sure he's on the ground. Let's head up a little bit more. Maybe move this arm up more. No, that was probably a good place. It just needs to kind of be more like this, I think. Then maybe we'll turn his head more this way. Like he's looking around, like, am I safe? There we go. And then we'll go back to this panel here. And then we'll do, let's see if I have like a table or a counter or something. All right, so I don't. So what I can do, I'll just use this for the perspective. What we'll do is we'll rotate this. So he's going to come in, he's going to see a counter type that he can dip under. So we're just going to use this as the perspective for it. Hopefully this works the way I'm thinking. Oh, I just saw the posture check because yeah, I was hella shrinking, shrimping. Let me have some water. Save check. That's a good idea. I should put that on there too. You're smart. All right, we'll just get our straight line tool here. And then we can just kind of use this to follow the perspective of where this countertop's going to be. I can get it to line up the way I want it to. Maybe I should have it go. Maybe I should extend this panel some more so we can see that it's like a decent sized uh like somewhere he could actually fit to hide. So let's get rid of this. Delete, and let's take the perspective tool actually. Oops. So I can do that. I can do that. Oh yeah, that's much easier. That, and this will be the countertop. Kind of give it a little bit of like a depth to it. That. So something he can hide under. And maybe that's like the back part of the board of it right here. So if I go up, yeah, that would be off screen. Okay, cool. And then we can have like you want to go out, Vegeta? Hold on, I gotta let my cat out the door. No one trapping the kitty. I was kind of thinking of maybe like some sort of display sign or something for the item that they're selling here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter now with the perspective tool, I don't think. Let's turn that off. Come on. Cooperate. That, that. And we don't really need this because this is going to be like a little like what they're selling and like what the price is, like a price tag basically. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, either a book or some like crystals or something like that, you know, something along that line. Let's do some line weight variation here. That way it doesn't look so damn stiff. can kind of make the lines a little less perfect. Oops. Trying my best to make it look like not so stiff. Makes it look a little more natural, more like an actual drawing. So we all know we don't draw perfectly straight lines all the time. Unless you're just a G like that. You could be, I don't know. All right, that's probably good for the purposes we need it for. We just want to establish that this is the place that he's gonna hide, is underneath this counter here. Blur this a little bit more. There we go, that looks a bit better. All right, so we don't need that. All right, so these are going to be lines. We'll do countertop lines. All right. So now I can take this and select the outside. Hopefully. Might have to do it manually because it's like not filled in on these over here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. Unless invert selection. Unless I can do some of it and then fill in the rest manually. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that gives at least a start, right? All right, let me take this number. This will make it easier. I'll just do this. So I'll do that for the countertop. And then we're going to have a floor going on in here too. Oops. Why won't you cooperate? Make sure that's all filled in. Let's see, is this actually the floor? So that would be dope if I could just bring that down. Not that I don't think I need to do anything crazy with that. That's fine. All right, so this is that. And then we'll do lighter floor. And we'll figure out what the floor is going to look like in a little bit. There we go. I just wanted to separate those so I have things to clip too. All right, let's see. What color do we want this countertop to be? Could do it as wood if we wanted to. Let's probably do some sort of wood grain, I think would look good. Why are you freaking out, computer? I'm just using the fill tool. Jeez. That was kind of crazy. I don't know why it decided to freak out like that. I wonder if I need to check my hard drive space to make sure that because using programs like Clip Studio, you have to allocate a certain amount of, I think it's called VRAM or via memory, and sometimes it likes to freak out. Let's see, what color do we want the display sign to be? Let's have it kind of like an off color, like it's like a paper, maybe. And we'll erase along here. I want their shop to still have kind of like a little bit like a more like an old school feel to it, even though that this story actually takes place in the future. It'll be kind of like in Final Fantasy VII, where it's like a mixture of like older magical things with like uh some modern technology like thrown in here and there. And let's see, figure out what we want to do for the floor. Might have like an image material I could use for that. Here's some wooden texture. Could have the floor just be wood. Might look okay. We'll have to change the perspective on it, but that's all right. Wonder if I could just now we'll change the perspective this way. Trying to kind of match the angle here. Oops, now it's getting all fucky. Something like that. That's probably fine. That'll probably work for the purpose that we need. Okay, let's rasterize. Oh my god, my computer's so slow today. I just restarted too, so I definitely have to. I'm gonna have to check my freaking storage. All right, we'll clip that to that. So now we have floor texture here. Maybe if I do this as like a multiply, and then I can, or I can do brightness maybe. Oops. Overlay. I'll just leave it normal. It'll be fine. All right, so now we can do our lighting. I kind of want to put a texture on the thing too. Let's see, wood. Do I have a wood grain texture? I can spell. I have a bunch of rock textures. This one might actually work. Let's do brightness of it. Do it like 30%. Yeah, that gives it a little bit of a texture there. Perfect. Now it doesn't look so flat. All right, so let's see. It's going to actually be pretty dark in the store when it comes in, even though it's daytime and there's a lot of natural light, but just for the sake of the kind of like what's going down, what's going to happen in this scene, we're going to oh my god, it's not going to let me do it the way I want, is it? Stop being a pain, computer. You know what? I can just erase away parts of it. So we'll have like there's kind of some light coming in from the direction of where the door is. So we're gonna have it that he's kind of coming in, going to the left here, I think. Then there would be a bit like here would be some white. Be down here a little bit. A little on this front face here. Across the bottom. Maybe like a slight bit here. Not exact, but kind of going like that. Then we'll have this like kind of casting a shadow. Kind of like this way. Even though the light, actually the light's kind of going that way too. We'll do just like a little one here. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate here. That, and then we're gonna delete that. But we will put a little bit of shadowing on the front of it too. Maybe a little bit going this way. There. This needs to be more of a solid shadow. Move this off to the side. Some more solid shadow. All right, got that. this, and then we'll do like 30% or so. I'm gonna duplicate this. That on the floor too. Let's make that more this color. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That. That, and then actually, it's just go like that. Actually, it's kind of coming from this direction. That. That. Oh, good. You guys can't see me. Okay. I was freaking out there for a second because I thought my stream crashed again like it did the other day. It's about to like freak out. Like, no, why? Why are you like this? All right, we're definitely going to reduce the opacity on this in just a sec here. That is way too bright at the moment. All right, let's bring that down to like 30%. I'll duplicate, low dodge. So it looks more like some light there. And I kind of want some of like a bit of the sky color coming in from the outside. And we're going to reduce that way the hell down. Probably even less than that, maybe like 10%. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And let's see, maybe we'll have like some crystals that they're selling over here on this. So let's make a new layer. And let's see, what's a good crystal to have? Let's do, I guess I don't know if I want to do quartz because quartz is kind of like a pretty basic thing. I want something that's going to flex some color. Maybe a manifestation crystal. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a money crystal. Green adventurine. Organite, triple money, pyramid energy. Ooh, maybe they have an organite. That makes sense. Havoc makes organite, so. All right, so let's have it as. We're not going to show the whole thing because it's kind of off in the background here. But we'll have like a crystal going on here. So we're going to start with like a yellow. For like the base of it. And this will be like it's a clear base. So we'll have a little bit of like lighter there. And of course, we're going to erase away here so it's not above our sign. Oops. Like that. We're not going to go super wild with this because it would take all day. We just want to kind of like establish some stuff. So we're going to do crystal. See if I can find like a nice like crystalline texture. Maybe I can use this. Nope, doesn't want to work. Huh. All right. Maybe if I look through this manually real quick, I can find something. Thought I had some crystal image materials. You know what? I just realized I also need to put this underneath a lot of this stuff here. There we go. That way it has some of the light like applied to it already. I tried this one before, but I guess it isn't in the right folder. So it must not be an actual image material. You know what? Rather than waste time, we're just going to download one real quick. Crystal, and then we'll do image material free. Most popular. See if I can find something I can just drag over the top to get the texture that I want. These aren't really textures so much as they are actual crystals, but metal crystal. Really? That's all we have for free stuff? That sucks. Okay. Well, guess what I'll do then. So I'll download this one and then we'll manipulate that. I don't want to spend all day on this freaking countertop and not get to drawing another panel with Val here. Because that would be boring, right? Are you downloading, buddy? Come on. I wonder if I have one in here. I just never dragged into the. Oh, where the heck? Oh, here we go. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just take this, we'll drag it into image material. There's always workarounds when you can't figure something out. There we go. And put it over like the crystal part. Do that. Then we're gonna do it as brightness, maybe. Not brightness. Let's do, will pin light work? Overlay. I just want the texture. Multiply. Hmm. All right, we'll just do brightness, and I'll be fine. We're gonna kind of make it big. Want to have a lot of these like faces and whatnot on it, so we'll do that. Rasterize. So we'll do that, and then delete there. Is this it? That's it. So invert selection. There we go. I guess it's okay if we have some blue in there. It'll be fine. Maybe if I do like, ooh, that really shows more about linear light. We'll bring that down to like maybe like 30%. Just so we can see that it's like an actual crystal. And then we'll have to add some highlights to it. So we'll just do that with, kind of come in and do it manually. Actually, do that, and let's erase away some of it. That. Oops. No, I need to do this actually. Across the top, and then erase away. Like that. Then we'll do the same going back. Something like that. Then we can kind of do some stuff like this. But we're going to blur some of this. If I'm thinking of this correctly, I know we're going to have to erase away some of it too. Let's kind of blur out a little bit of the edges too. Oops. Let's cut our race way over here. That down. Suffocate. Let's do glow dodge. That down. Suffocate. Add glow. I think we're gonna blur it a bit. Let's do 20. See how that looks. All right, I think that's good. All right, like I said, I don't want to go too overboard with this. So we'll do that. And we just need to get the floor. Let's do, let's kind of go into floor. We'll make it like maybe like this. Don't let anybody tell you that setting up scenes is not difficult, because it sure as hell is. They are lying. They're like, oh man, this is so easy. I don't know why it takes you so long. Like, dude, you obviously don't know. Tells me you've never actually done this. You've never created a comic before. Especially when you're doing things that are, not stuff you normally do. Like, yeah, it makes it like way harder. So do that, and let's do another. We'll do some hard shadow now. So under here is going to be dark, because that's where he's going to hide. No, stop. Grab the red tool. Thank you. So it's going to be super dark under here. And I'm not quite sure how this shadow would cast. We're going to kind of do it like, I don't know if we really need to show it, to be honest with you. We'll kind of do it like something like this. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think that makes sense. We probably wouldn't see the rest of that cast shadow, so we're not going to worry about it. Down to 20%. Duplicates. Linear burn. And then we just need some lighting on it. Go back to that, make a little more white. All right, so definitely not gonna see the light under here. It's blocked. So we'll get rid of that. Might actually even make this a little darker, I think. 30%. I think that's better. And bring this down to 50. Duplicate. And we'll do glow dodge. That's probably okay. Now we need to write what this is on that. And then I think we can just do the final effects and then this panel will be done. So let's see. Perfect. And we're going to do this as their dad be the one that is writing things. So he's going to have some pretty rough handwriting like me. I feel like all dudes have terrible handwriting, so. So it's going to be, oh, not 2 lines through the money thing. Oh my God. That's embarrassing. I'm not in middle school anymore drawing like the money symbol here. So we'll do this as, we'll have this be like really cheap because it's in the future where things are a bit more, well, at least they were like way more chill until this infection started. So we'll have the price be like pretty decent here. Normally, like an orgonite that big would be like quite a bit more monies, especially if it's handmade like that. And then let's see. We'll do, oh my God, I haven't even drawn in cursive in a while. So let's not do cursive. Make sure I spell this right. Orgonite. Oh, it's another O. I pretty much like type like everything these days. So not only was my handwriting bad before, it's even worse now, which is kind of crazy because, you know, I'm an artist. So It's fine. And we're gonna blur it a little bit so it kind of fits. There we go. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I should put some blood splatter on here that he's not going to really notice because he's like panicking as he comes in. But we want to show that it's not exactly chill in here. Like he's such a hurry to find help that he doesn't really pay attention to his surroundings. Because you know shit's been going down this whole time, so we'll just maybe we'll put it like over here so it's not quite as obvious, like on the corner. Maybe a little bit on this. Oh, yeah, I forgot that one doesn't look very good. That's okay. We won't use that one. Maybe we'll make this smaller. Just kind of have come down a little bit. That. And I feel like we should have some on the floor off in the background too. Maybe not that big a brush. It starts to look kind of wonky. Use smaller brushes here. Oops, I did that on completely the wrong layer. Son of a bitch. Oh well, we're gonna stick with it. It'll be fine. Oh man, I can't believe I did that. And let's give it a little bit of a blur. 10. And then I think I'm gonna make this like hard lights. And we'll turn down this blur a bit on the multiply. All right, that looks pretty decent so far. Okay. So let's find a gradient map we can put over the whole thing to unify it. Kind of like similar to the outside shining in colors. That might actually be all right. Maybe this one. I kind of want some blue and a little bit of yellow in there because there are still these sunflowers outside. The sunflowers come all the way up to their little shop slash. They also kind of live here too, so. That's probably actually okay if we do maybe soft light. That's probably all right. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna do that. Put that as one of the options. We've given up everything. Tell me. Then we'll do a tone curve. Oh my god, if my computer will cooperate. It's like freaking out. What are you doing? Thank you, computer. Jeez. Let's see. Let's change some of these. Kind of want to get like the vibe that it is still daytime out, but it is dark in here. Uh, well, maybe I might need to move it slightly this way. I do kind of want it to be like a little bit back there to be a little duller. That's probably about okay. And then maybe if I do some color balance here. Make that a little more blue, I think, a little more cyan. Make the halftones a little more red. Yellow. And then highlight. Let's crank the yellow up a little bit more, I think. A little more red. I think something about there is probably about good. So I think that's fairly good. So I'm going to take this. And we're actually going to just go ahead and merge that. And we'll merge these. Duplicate this twice. Do color, and then we'll do our effects. Chromatic aberration, definitely don't want it on 20. I'm thinking maybe like 10. And then heighten. Gaussian blur 50. And then we'll bring that down to like 30%. There we go. That looks good. Okay, put it on top of the lines here. Blue this by 20%. Down. Duplicate. Low dodge. Duplicate. Lighten. Try one more. Do like a screen. There we go. Looks a little bit better, but we're going to bring it down to like 30% there. And let's see, do I have a dust brush? I think I do. Go back to that. I think Mark has a dust one. Yep, he does. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. We're just going to do a little bit. That. Low dodge. Down. Duplicate. Like a motion blur. So if I bring that all the way up. Maybe this shouldn't be glow dodge. Yeah, I guess we'll Gaussian blur a little bit actually. That's probably good. I'm kind of thinking, get the whole thing. Merge. This might be overkill, but we're going to try it anyway, just to see. I kind of want to emphasize that he's looking here specifically for shelter. Put it over top of everything. Did that even blur it? I like barely blurred it. Hold on. I must have done something wrong. Let's merge all that together. Nope. Stop. It's not what I want. Stop it. Stop it. Why is that not making much of a difference? That is wild. I'm really confused. Oh, it's not the whole thing. Okay. That's the whole thing. Okay, okay. I was like, what is happening? Also, I don't know what all these extra layers are. That's okay. We'll figure it out shortly. Now I can try to do the effect that I wanted. We're gonna do like a focal blur. See how that looks. Oops, that is not the right brush at all. I don't know if that's really making much of a difference. Hmm. That doesn't really make that much of a difference. That's okay. Maybe later I'll put like some like action lines or something around it. Like this is where I'm gonna hide. But for now, I think that one is done. So let me go ahead and label this. That is that frame. So let's put it in a folder. Val's hiding spot. Let's get these labeled. Counter top. Oop, not Rob. Top. Row raggy. There we go. Okay, I don't think I need any of these layers that are in here. Let me zoom out and make sure this doesn't like delete something. Doesn't seem like it's affecting anything, so I'm gonna get rid of these layers. I don't want like too much crap in my folder. There we go. Cool, so we got that. So we're gonna try to do this one of Val hiding here. And that will probably take the rest of the stream, I bet. Let's see, let's turn on this real quick. We kind of want to show where the countertop is, so let's do that first. You're not going to let me draw. There we go. So that's kind of the top there. And of course, it's going to have like a little bit of an edge to it. And then I think we're going to have some in the foreground here to show that he's like more hidden. So I'm thinking maybe we'll also move him over a bit. Just so we can, something like that. Do this. There we go. So now we can tell that he's hidden because we're going to fill in this front part and the back part. So let me turn him off for a sec. I can find the line. There we go. Let's make these lines a little less like stiff. Maybe if I increase my brush size, this will be easier. We could have a little breakage in the lines too. I think that'll be okay. We just kind of want to make sure that the whole thing isn't like perfect looking. Oops, that's a little too much. All right, I think that works a lot better. Duplicate, filter, blur by 10. Multiply. So this will be counter top foreground. Actually, let's see. No, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. That's what I want. Let's see. Oh, I should have saved what color I made these. Whoops. That's okay. Let's see, is this countertop kind of lighter or darker? I think it'll be okay. There we go. Do that. All right. So turn off ruler on this, and then we can make these lines a little less perfect. Go. That looks a lot better. Let's see. So this will be background countertop. And we got that. And actually, the countertop's a little has a couple layers to it. So we're gonna make the whole thing here like he's just underneath it like that. I think it'll be fine. We do all of it like that. We're actually going to make it slightly lighter because it's going to be the background. So let me bring this up and over a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do that. Okay. So now what we need to do is turn our sketch of Val on here once I find him, or a reference. Is this it? No. What did I do with our boy? Okay, I can see him there. If I turn that off, so this is it. Okay, put that back on. That. See, now he's underneath the countertop. Cool, 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 cool. So we'll do that. Reduce this down, and we can start sketching. Need to see if I actually have like a reference for this kind of angle. So let me look through my references. I just want a reference for the head, so I make sure that the head doesn't look janky. Feel like there's not always like a lot of like dynamic shots like these. You know what? I'll ask Pinterest about it because that is usually the best solution. If I can spell, jeez. Glad that's on a totally different screen so you can't see how bad I just botched that. All right, this guy is super buff, but it is similar to the pose that we're looking for here. So, and he's not a child, so that also doesn't help, but it's better than nothing. Let me see if I can get like another shot here. Let's see. Child hiding. Maybe crouched hiding reference. That's actually a good reference. Try not to go down the Pinterest rabbit hole here while I'm looking though. It's so hard to not do like let's see. I think the problem is I turned the head towards the camera, so it's a little more difficult to find a pose that's like this. Which in a way I guess is good because it's kind of like makes it a little more unique, but makes it harder to find a reference to you know. we might just have to roll with the references that we've got. And hopefully it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. We're just gonna use the super buff guy reference, I think, and that'll work. because he's in like the crouching pose. So he's just so beefy. Val was not gonna be this beefy, I promise. All right, so I need to make sure. Wait, do I have this flipped the right way even? I did not. Oh my goodness. I did this one completely backwards. Oh my god. That's so embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that one at some point. Crap, I did not realize my whole canvas was flipped. That's super embarrassing. Oh my god. Can't believe I did that. That sucks. I will have to redo that one. That's totally okay. All right. Well, at least I have it as a reference if I want to like, I can redo it later. It's not a big deal. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Anyway, well, let's at least get this one done. So, man, that's so frustrating. I can't believe I did that. All right, so this kind of gotta make sure he has more like kind of kid proportions here, where the head's always a little bit bigger. And we'll just make sure they doesn't really have too much muscle mass here. We're just gonna kind of, and he's got his tank top. Should be kind of hanging down like that. It's a little oversized for him too. He's got his shorts. Kind of getting a rough sketch at least of course, we'll flip it back and forth, but we'll also remember that it's supposed to be this direction. I'm not like a whole ass about it and do it wrong again. And kind of look at how I did his hair, his face. I made his hair kind of a bit longer, a bit more shaggy when he was a kid. Hmm. We'll have like his the eyes right here be like in shadow. Actually, we're gonna fix this a little bit because it's like weird here. I'll just kind of do like this. Kind of get some of the lighting part of it like sketched out a little bit too. Darker here and there. Maybe we'll have us a little bit I don't know. We'll figure that out in a sec. All right, so I can get rid of that. Turn this down. Actually, let's flip it. That. Maybe make it slightly less rounded here at the chin. It's like even though he is really young and he still has a lot of that baby fat on his face, he's not like super childlike, I guess. He's only a couple years younger than August here, so flip it back now. We still need to do this angle here. see. Make sure this looks good in both directions here. Maybe if I turn it this way, probably a little easier. No. Let's see. That. Oh my god, I cannot. I've been struggling so hard to do art lately. I don't know what the deal is. This actually needs to be more like that. Maybe I'm using too big of a brush. That might be it. Trying to show that his hair is a little bit disheveled from running. So he's got like a little bit of bits that are kind of like hanging down in front of his face. Obviously, you're not going to have perfect hair while running away from zombies. It's like zombie movies where people have perfect hair and makeup as they're surviving. It's like, I call bullshit. Oops. Of course, you also have to have like show some gravity as well. Actually, I think I want this to down more like that. Hmm. Bottom of his ear over here. Yeah, let's have like a shadow right here. I can do this, right? I think that'll make it a little more dramatic. we'll have kind of like a that's probably good like that. Just make it a little messy. That might be too much. All right, let's thicken the lines up a little bit where they connect. Want to have a little curl there. Just kind of break up the line a little bit there. There. And let's flip it so we can do this side. And I need some depth through his hair. So definitely need some chunks that kind of layer. Like I said, we definitely want to make sure that he's like, looks like he's been like running, that he's been sweating. You know, it's okay to do like a little bit, like we do some like storytelling with the movements here. You know, the more frazzled he looks, the more like desperate the situation. So like I'm not quite sure how he gets separated from his brother, but you know, of course August is like, you know, his like aside from like his parents, August is like his support system. So we can also do this to show that, you know, he's underneath and he's turned his head. So there's like gravity. And it's also fun to draw. That way things don't feel so static or stagnant. All right, so we got his ear there. And his hair is going to cover some of his ear here. So let's get kind of the back part of the shape here going. Mm, that's more what I was looking for. Sure, we have some little strands going this way for gravity. Might be going a little overboard here, but we're gonna erase away a bunch of these lines. Actually, let me do this again real quick so I can get where this is coming. So let's have some like sideburn hair here. Then in here, need to have this connected so I can fill. And that. We can put some flyaways too, actually, going like this. The eraser here. Maybe not too many, just a little bit. All right, so let's clean up the lines now. And this will be dark in here. It's this way. Just have some lines to show the direction the hair is going. Here and there. Not too many of them because we still want to do the rule of thirds. And this is why Webtoon people have artists and ones that come out have teams that they work with, because obviously it is highly time consuming. You don't have to go all out like me to still have a good story. I just have no chill when it comes to my own artwork, so it's a lesson I have to learn one day. Be, let it be a little messy. Like, I don't know why I just can't have my brain just go, look, you need to make this artwork simpler just so you can tell the story, or it's never gonna get done. Let's have some more shadow on the side of the face. Let's see. Oh, okay. And that line. On the keys in concentration mode here. So I can try to get this done. Definitely think I'm doing too much detail, but this is a pretty emotional moment in the story, so we'll keep it as an important. We'll give it the special treatment, you know, so it has like the impact it needs. We want it to like hit hard pretty much right in the beginning, so getting there. Thinking maybe the underside of this hair over here could be in shadow. That might actually work pretty well. Also save us a little bit of time. But it does make sense because his head is tilted this direction, so it would cast some shadow. And then we'll just kind of do a little bit here so we don't lose the jaw shape. And we can do over here in shadow as well. Oops. as my computer freaks out. You gonna stop, buddy? Oh, it didn't do it. Oh, scared me there for a sec that it was gonna. There we go. So let's just close off there. Then we should be able to do what I was trying to do. Yeah, I think having some of this in shadow will be good for the composition. And I kind of do this number here too. Show that his hair is frazzled. He needs some freckles. These lines are a little thick here. Better. Ooh, that it all the way out. Let's make sure we freaking save. All right. Let's get his body going here. We can do the lines thicker because they're up close in the foreground here. And we'll clean them up in just a sec. I think we're gonna do is have like the shadow here from the Wait, did I do this on the same layer as... No, I didn't. Okay. Confused. What's going on? Oh, I did it on the same layer as the coloring for the countertop. I'm dumb. Okay. What we can do is we'll get that. There we go. Problem solved. I was wondering what was going on with that. I was like, why is it? I think we need to move this in a little bit. Uh, so what I'm thinking is, for the sake of time here, I'm running out of steam. I'm gonna finish these lines up and then we'll call it for today, and then we'll work on it again some other time soon. I don't want to like completely run out of steam and then just like do like some like half-assed ugly art. So actually, I'm already starting to do that. So maybe I should just go ahead and call it. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I'm already starting to degrade here. All right. Well, I think we did pretty good today, even though I did that last panel completely backwards and I have to redo it now. But at least I realized it. You know, it didn't like end up in the final comic with me looking like an ass. So I'll just have to be more careful as I flip things. So let me throw you guys back in the lobby here and we'll do a little wrap up. I want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me on stream today. I know I wasn't very vocal today, but you know, I was just kind of concentrating. Like, you know, obviously comic books or webtoons are a lot of work, so they require a lot of concentration. If you are an artist, make sure that you follow me on here and follow me on Twitter. I do a Saturday art share stream every week And it is still not too late to submit to that. I have a post pinned to the top of my Twitter profile, so you can post your artwork there, and I will review it on Saturdays on stream. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will catch you tomorrow with some Alien Isolation.